I just want to do it, you know.
Yep.
Everybody, please rise. We're going to call this meeting to order. Stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, where did everybody come from? There's nobody here.
High school.
End of the semester, they all need their hours.
Minutes.
So I have the January 2nd reorg minutes, the January 16th town board minutes, and the town clerk's January 2025 report.
Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bills?
I have general bill 21416 through 21448, highway 21449 through 21462, and water bills 3345 through 3352.
Can I get a motion on the bills?
Make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah. Town attorney, Warren?
Yeah, so are we having a public hearing?
Yes,
In 3
Oh,
minutes.
okay.
3 minutes, Warren.
Actually, I had the Labella contract for the new town hall. I did go over it and I modified it, except you sent out an RFP for this contract. And normally the engineering company who bids on it has an extensive proposal that you're supposed to consider before you award the contract. There really was no proposal, just a sheet with the indicating 6 services and the amount that they would charge.
No, there was a whole packet
We
from
have,
them.
we have a whole
Yeah.
pack,
Whole
yeah.
book.
Yeah, the book is just about Labella and their partners and what they do, but it had nothing, there was no proposal in there.
Oh, there was a breakdown of all their costs, all the
Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
timeline at the end.
trades and.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just one sheet in the document. So
Right.
they sent 2 AIA contracts, American Institute of Architects, which are very difficult to work with. I've amended them somewhat, but I really think that Ray needs to go over the contracts because basically the contract that they sent is really the proposal they should have sent when they were bidding on this. And I can deal with the legal issues and I have, made changes. But there's language in the AIA contract, which are engineering, that will refer to the work they're going to do. I feel much more comfortable if Ray would review it before you adopt
So
it.
do we need a motion for Ray to review it or can we?
Yeah, you can just do
Make a motion that
I just
town-
gave Ray a copy. I can give you a copy of what I've done so far so you can look at it. If you want to make copies for everybody, I added a rider to the contract and marked it up, but I'm not comfortable with a lot of the language that pertains to the actual engineering work that they're going to do for the town hall.
And so this is the first time Ray seeing it?
Yeah, Ray.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
Yeah, so I'll make a motion, we let
He
Ray
didn't
look
see
it
the
over.
proposal either.
Second.
Next month, right?
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh.
So hopefully maybe we'll have that for you by for the next meeting. I do have to talk to you in attorney-client session about the deputy supervisor issue. That's all I have. In the public.
Start the public hearing.
All right, that's it for now, Warren?
That's it.
Okay, it's 7:05. We're gonna open the public hearing in regards to the removal of the utility poles. A town law we're looking to put into effect. Do you want to touch base on this, Warren?
Yeah, so the town has on the public highways a lot of utility poles that are either not in service, damaged, double poles we call them. So they put up a new one and leave the old one, and they're quite unsightly, and it's a problem for communities like Pine Plains. I've drafted a a local law which would permit the town to notify the public utilities when there are poles that are damaged or dangerous, or no longer using, if they're double poles. There's a series of notifications that you have to give to the utility company depending on the nature of the problem. And they have a period of time to correct it and remove it. And if they don't, then they can be fined, or we can take our own action. So,
So, but we have to notify them.
yes.
Yeah.
the
I think they
notification-
would know that they replaced the pole.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
I'm
if
sure
they're not
they know
getting
that the
charged,
poles
but
are
if they're not
there,
getting
they just don't
charged
wanna
for it.
Bother replacing it.
One of the issues is that because there are multiple carriers on the pole, so
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
It's
it may be,
complicated,
it
yeah.
may be National Grid's or it's Central Hudson's pole. Central Hudson actually replaces it, then they move their wires. Now you're waiting for the cable company, telephones,
So
anyone else. to
what
do
happens
their-
is Central Hudson does their thing, then the cable company's pretty quick in following behind them. Each one of them cuts it down to the next level. And then the telephone company lets it sit there for 3 years or more, because once the cable company moves over, the telephone companies will no longer paying rent on that pole.
Correct.
So they're doing that intentionally because it saves them a little bit of money. So we do need to urge them to do that. It's probably unsafe with extra poles, and it's certainly unsightly.
Well.
Well, that's why they'll be
I just
charged
can't
if they
believe
leave
we
the
have to-
home.
It's a good law to have, and whether, how well we can enforce it is another issue, but
Yeah.
we'll deal with that.
Well, at the very least, doing this may be enough to, get them to, say, well, there's a
Remove the
utility pole
poles
law in
themselves.
Pine Plains.
But it
we
is
gotta do a little
complicated because there are a number of different providers that go on the same poles, as Ray had indicated. So. The public has any comments?
Floor is open.
You wanna pull them out or you gonna cut them?
The
No, it's up-
utility company's
Utility
responsibility,
company's
yeah.
Yeah.
But
They're
most
supposed
likely
to-
pull them out.
Yeah, they just cut them as they remove services from them. And then, the last one there, I don't know if the telephone company does it or Central Hudson has to come back, but they do pull it out.
It's the telephone company's
They
responsibility.
take the last section.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got two in my block,
Yeah,
two twos.
yeah.
Is it just for the hamlet or for the whole entire town?
It's all town
Town.
Pine Plains.
And there are a lot of poles out there doubled up.
Yeah, it's unsightly.
It is.
And dangerous.
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay, can
Any
I
other
get a
comments?
motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
So if you're of a mind to, I prepared a resolution adopting the local law, if you want to do that now or later on.
you gonna read it?
You want us to read this?
Go ahead, Kevin. Madeline will, right?
Madeline usually reads it.
Would you
There you
mind?
go.
I can
Madeline.
read.
The only way we can find typos.
Yeah.
All right, whereas the town board has determined that there are many public utility company poles within the town of Pine Plain, which has been either damaged or in a state of disrepair or no longer in use. And where the town board has determined that the extensive of such double poles creates a safety hazard to residents of the town of Pine Plains and person and motor vehicles utilizing the public roads and further result in compromise of attractiveness and beauty of the town of Pine Plains. The town board has determined that it is a legal right to enact a local law requiring the removal of such double poles within the town of Pine Plains. The attorney to the town, at the request of the town board, drafted a proposed local law A of the year 2025 entitled Remove of Utility Poles, which has been reviewed by the town board and found to be satisfactory in form and content. The town board has determined that is a type 2 action under seeker, which does not require an environmental review. The town board scheduled a public hearing for the adoption of the local law A of 2025 for February 20th at 7:05 at the town of Pine Plains Town Hall. The town clerk was directed to post and publish a notice of said public hearing and provide notice of said public hearing to all adjoining municipalities as required by law. The town board closed the public hearing on February 20th, 2025, and the town board determined that the adoption of the local law will be in the best interest of the town's citizens. The town board hereby adopts local law A of 2025, and be further that the town clerk is directed to file a copy of local law with the State Department as required by law.
What number would this, is this the first one?
This would be,
Going for the year.
yeah,
Number one.
Supervisor Walsh.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cisco,
Hi.
Councilman Walsh,
Aye.
Councilman Zick.
Aye.
We're gonna open public comment. If you'd like to state public comment, raise your hand when you're called upon, come up, stand over near the store, state your name and your address, and speak into the camera.
I have two things, so quick.
Go ahead, Matt.
March 22nd, there will be a defensive driving course at the Pine Plains Lions Club. It's a one-day thing, $38 for the day. If you can bring a lunch, great. If not, I think Paula plans on ordering pizzas for lunch too. You would contact Paul Humphreys. There's, I think, 40 spots that like they can have. So it's good for younger drivers want to get a little break on their insurance. And then the second thing is ice rink's open. Go use it. It's been open for the last like 2 weeks solid. We got through all the storms, and yeah, it's been a good year.
How do they contact Paula Humphreys?
She put something up on Facebook.
They
I
can
know-
call me and I can give them her telephone number also.
Anyone?
Anybody else, public comment? Up front?
You want me to stand next to Kevin?
Yep,
By
and
the
just
door,
look into the
yeah.
camera so we can get you on the camera.
Name and address, yeah.
Wanted to talk about executive sessions for the town board. And to say, I have experience in other places, but not at a town board, to have like a lesson when one can go into executive sessions. Mr. Plansky just talked about an item that was discussed in the last meeting about I'm gonna call it the deputy supervisor and who gets to appoint that person. I think that, which is an interesting policy issue, but again, I'm not a lawyer, but from my experience, that's not really personnel, that's organizational structure. And so I don't think I know when things are allowed to go into executive council and when they're not. And so I want to know, is there something I can read that the town has, or
Let's just do one, can you explain it on the legal level?
Yeah, I think I said we're gonna go to attorney-client session,
right?
not an executive session. So attorney-client session is permitted under any topic that town board wants to discuss with the attorney, as long as it's regarding a legal matter. So we're gonna go into attorney-client session, not an executive session.
I see. And is that a legal matter? Isn't that an organizational structure of the town board? I'm just confused about that, having never seen that before.
Oh, it's done all the time.
I'm sure it is, but I was just looking for the law that allows that and what's allowed in that, because anytime an open government goes into a closed session, I just think it's important for people to know about.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a law or it's been developed by Attorney General or controller opinions, but it's fairly well accepted practice.
And so you're saying, in order to do that, Mr. Plansky, what you're saying is that this change in a structure of how the town board does something.
No, it's just a tool that the town board has. So if it goes into executive session, there are certain topics you can do in executive session. If you go into attorney-client session, technically, that's after the meeting. We can do an attorney-client session tomorrow if we want.
And you can take any town business for that closed.
We don't make decisions at those
Right.
meetings. We don't pass resolutions. We just discuss legal issues. And I get input with the board and I give them advice. But if there's a decision to be made, that's done publicly.
And is there a way for people like me who are just interested in the town to understand what the legal advice was, what the questions were?
Yeah, it's not an open dialogue here. We went through this. I know the last time, but like, so what we do talk about in executive session, like just quick, like is personnel. We can't openly discuss somebody's name, somebody's salary here. So we go in there to discuss about that and other questions that we might have that we need our attorney's help with.
Thank you. But this will not be that. This
Yes,
will be
th- yeah,
the-
this is- yes,
attorney-client session. And if we make any decisions, it would be done in public.
And we always we always say, will decisions be made? If we don't make decisions, then we always let Madeline go home. But if we're gonna make a decision, like say if it's a hiring of a new person, then she'll stay and then that's when we make a decision. But sometimes we're just talking about something, then we're leaving. So,
So just a quick, sorry. In New York, attorney-client communications between the town board and its attorney are confidential and exempt from open meetings law. This is because the attorney-client relationship is considered confidential under civil practice law rules, section 0503.
Where'd you find that?
AI.
Google. Google.
It's America.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Okay, we're gonna close public comment, go to department reports, highway.
This is one cleaning up and cleaning up the snow and the ice. Get the road fairly clean and feet down. I'm just doing some banking. Keep the road running, making sure there was no ice buildup anywhere. And we've done a lot of the courses that we have to do yearly. And that's about it.
Thank you, sir. Are you affected by that salt shortage at all? I see other towns are going through.
Ton of salt that was supposed to be delivered today. I do not see it. Calling them tomorrow.
We do have salt though.
No, okay, but yeah.
We
'cause
do have
I
salt.
mean, I've seen some towns are like going very sparingly with like saying like some roads won't even be touched.
Of the salt for this year yet. We're still running on last year's salt.
Yeah.
Wow.
We didn't use it last year.
Nice, awesome.
Thank you, Carl. Everybody received the building inspector's report?
Yep.
Just so the public's aware of it, there was a total of 0 new homes this year. 2 certificate of occupancies. 4 municipality searches. 11 site inspections. 3 property maintenance issues. And 3 total permits were issued year to date.
Not last year, to now.
Year to date, this year.
Oh, yeah.
Year to date. Water engineer,
Monthly report was submitted to Department of Health. Average daily flow remains steady, so we're currently pumping about 60,000 gallons per day. Pretty normal for this time of year. Water meter maintenance, there were 2 meter heads replaced this past month. Also 2 utility markouts performed over the last month associated with utility pole. And those were along Route 82 South. Dutchess County, I was happy to hear that and inform the board that Dutchess County Department of Health has approved the reduction of the sampling frequency associated with PFOS and PFOA and dioxane. So again, those are the forever chemicals that are sometimes found. So the reduction is based on the past water samples indicating that those 3 contaminants were not detected at all within our water supply. And again, that testing is taking place over the last 4 years that they've never been detected. So since we were on an annual, they now allow us to go to testing once every 3 years for both wells.
Nice.
So, and again, those are pretty pricey. So the cost of those samples per well is about $1,000. So then it's quite a cost savings too.
You run like other little tests like throughout the course of the year though, right? Or no?
Yeah, so in total, on average, because again, there are tests that we're required to take every month. There's others that are required to be taken during the summer, such as disinfection byproducts. There are others that are required to be taken annually, like nitrates. Then there are others such as principal organic chemicals and primary organic chemicals that are required to be taken every 3 years. Generally speaking, over the course of a year, we take samples that are looking for well over 300 contaminants, potential contaminants. And again, anything that we do find, we've provided within the annual water quality report, which we submit to the Department of Health. And we also post it onto the website, and we've actually provided a copy to all of the users in the district as well.
So that was just a test that looked for those like 4 things?
Yeah, that's
Oh.
all correct. Yeah, it's just
crazy.
It's
Crazy.
ice.
So is the reason that we come up clean from PFAS because we don't have industry in the area?
In part, I mean, that tends to be the, potential largest, source of contamination. I can tell you that it is also found adjacent to, or wells that are down gradient of landfill as well. So that's quite common also, in addition to the industrial. So it can be either one of those, generally speaking.
And the old landfill that we had here is quite a distance.
Correct.
Yeah, way though.
Yeah.
Probably falls into a different watershed, right?
Well,
it goes that way.
Yes, I believe that it would be. Yeah, I believe that actually it would be part of a different.
Remember that when you drink your water.
Oh,
Yeah, Janine.
I heard that stuff curls right here.
The last item, I attended a 4-hour online training course that was provided for the American Water Works Association, and that goes towards my water certification and operators license. That's it.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank you. Police department.
Maybe had 12 hours of report, 157.5 in patrol, 12.5 in training, 21 in details, 38 in school duty, 21 admin, 12 vehicles, 37 other. We had 10 incidents, 2 fire and EMS, 2 property checks, 9 traffic warnings, 16 UTTs issued, 2 parking warnings, 1 misdemeanor arrest. We had 33 shifts scheduled, we actually did 50. And Officer Parada had 7 hours of training on zooming traffic.
Thank you, John. Everybody received the animal control report?
We did, and I asked the clerk if anybody licensed their dog, and we're trying to get that dog. He wants that dog census, so if there's anybody out there with a dog that needs a license, come on in. It's $10, so it's not the end of the world, but
You don't want to have your dog arrested.
Maybe I do.
just to put it out there, though, he wants to try to get a census, so if you know.
Just so everybody's aware, he handled 2 investigations into complaints. He had 1 dog seized, notice to comply 4 issued, and that's current month. Recreation.
March Madness, man. It is fantastic February. The next 2 weeks are playoffs for our youth hoops, and we need a couple of reps. Preferably the reps who do not have students and athletes in the actual league. So it's pretty exciting happenings up there. If you go up there, every game, believe it or not, even with 8 and 9-year-olds are neck and neck, and they get pretty exciting. Baseball and softball, we started sign-ups for that. We have 20 on the list already. We're looking for a camp director. And then we're starting to, I've been talking with Jenny about beach operations. That's really about it. The paper I gave you is a grant for youth programs through Dutchess County. Because of my position, I can't submit that, but I can help with it.
I'll take care of it.
So we should really sit down and look at that.
Yep.
There's quite there's a lot of funding out there for some things.
Nice. Thank you.
That's it.
CAC?
Yes, we have been, as I told you, meeting regularly and have had the minutes posted, which we're pretty excited about. We are still reviewing the natural resource inventory. We have been looking at other towns' natural resource inventory. And what we find is that while they're wonderful and comprehensive, they really do not give a town like ours, we don't think, a plan. What's critical? What should you do now? What small thing would make a difference? So we're working with others to sort of talk about how to make a natural resource inventory that is perhaps more targeted and might be more useful to the town. I don't know if we'll be able to do that, but that's sort of what's in.
You have an arborist in the crowd, though, that might be able to help with some tree identification and stuff like that.
Yeah, the botanist on the CNC. So,
I know her.
We are also going ahead and doing the regular stuff of creating a mission statement, which we will, I hope, approve. We have our meetings next Thursday, so we haven't approved that yet. And we're really looking at ways in which to join forces with both other towns who have a lot of significant sort of money invested, if you will, in natural resource inventories. But also within our town, if there are other committees or resources within either that the board has set up, or that would be helpful to us to meet with. We've been sort of talking about that, and could that be helpful to us? And so we were talking about the bur oak tree, that is a sort of large tree. And what kinds of things to celebrate the big trees that we have around here could happen, and what has happened in the past.
Thank you.
Cool.
Beautification.
Since we're new on the agenda here, just in case anyone doesn't know who I am, I'm Elaine Maccarello. I'm the co-chair. Also, there's two other people here that are also on the committee, Winter Champagne and Jean Valentine Case. Just since our first deal, I wanted to introduce myself. So I'm here to give you just a brief update. We've had two meetings this month. During the meetings, we are coming up and finalizing a mission statement, which we're really hoping that in the future, we can be a link on the town website. So people know who we are and what our goal is. Also, we have been informed that the garbage and recycling bins are in possession of the town. Is that correct?
Yep.
So, and thank you to the town board for supporting that. So also the other thing is, we were in one of the meetings that we had, we're talking about the weather conditions now that probably aren't feasible for these bins to be set out and stabilized yet, thinking it'd be much better to wait for spring, hopefully come soon. I know you might not think that.
No. Yeah, and I think we were actually thinking the same thing, end of March, maybe.
Yeah, great. That's all we have at this time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Old business, Janine, ADUs update.
So we have some great news. Hudson River Housing was awarded the ADU grant. And so Pine Plains is part of that. There are 8 communities that applied with Hudson River Housing. So I'm going to actually read a couple of the things from it so that the information is really clear. Because as we get direction to move forward, we need to be really mindful of all the very specific information regarding this. So Hudson River Housing has been awarded the +1 ADU program grant to support the development of accessory dwelling units. That's what ADUs are. Sorry, sometimes we talk in, letters and people don't know what they are. In 8 partner municipalities: Amenia, Beacon, Town of Northeast, Town of Pine Plains, Town of Poughkeepsie, Town of Stanford, Town of Unionvale, and the Village of Rhinebeck. This funding is a significant step toward increasing housing opportunities while preserving the character and sustainability of our communities. By working with, this is the program overview, by working with units of local government and community development partners, the +1 ADU will provide a full-service program to support low and middle-income single-family homeowner occupants who wish to build a new ADU on their property or improve an existing ADU that needs to be brought into compliance with local and state code requirements. depending on the property and what the locality permits. ADUs may be small, standalone, detached units on a single family lot, basement apartments, garage conversions, or other permitted units. And some of the critical guidelines for the program are that they define a single-family home as a 1 to 4 unit home. A property with duplex would be eligible, but a property with 2 separate single-family homes would not. The main home must be the participant's primary residence. Second home properties are ineligible. The ADU may not be used as a short-term rental. The homeowner income threshold is to be no more than 100% of the area median income, which for a 4-family unit is $114,800 in Dutchess County. And then I have a table that I can share with you that that delineates the medium income. So I'll give you a couple of them. A 1-person household, the medium income, the maximum income would be $80,385. 2-person income would be 2-person household would be $91,815. 3-person household would be $103,371,000. And as I said before, the 4-person household would be $114,800. So, and it goes on if you have a larger family. Important to know that no work can be performed or cost committed or incurred prior to the execution of the grant agreement. So the next step is that Hudson River Housing is going to schedule a meeting with Homes and Community Renewal, which is a state organization, right? To discuss what exactly are our next steps. How are we going to find out who's interested, if they're eligible, and so on and so forth. And I thought we were going to hear a resolution tonight about the tax exemption, but maybe I'm wrong. We received it on email.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, so there will be some
I did
tax,
prepare a resolution.
no,
Yes, you did.
You
yeah.
sent it, you
Yeah.
sent it, we talked
Yeah.
about it
That's
last
the one you're
meeting.
talking about?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I prepared it for you.
Oh, good.
I
Perfect.
sent it to you.
Yes, I thought so. I thought I read it.
Is
Maybe I
that the
just dreamt
resolution
that it
adopting
happened.
the pro-housing community pledge? Is that adopting the pro-housing community?
The exemption
pledge?
for the creation of accessory dwelling units pursuant to 421 of the New York State Real Property Tax Law for the purpose of commencing the local law adoption process.
I didn't prepare that. I would.
Yeah, you did.
I can.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, it's right here, Warren.
We got it on email.
Oh, I better make sure I charge it.
And I think we're all.
No, I don't think you did prepare this then, Warren. I think Janine prepared this. I think. Yeah, you just wrote it, Warren.
Not from AI.
Yeah, that's right, AI.
Oh, okay.
Pretty handy.
All right, so you have it.
So do we have to have, we have to vote on it and then we have to have a public
Yeah,
hearing?
I just, well, no, you don't need a public, let me
Okay.
just read it. I don't remember, when did
I don't know. I think you did it in your sleep. So
I?
automatic.
Give me a second. Yeah, this is not a local law, this is just a resolution. And then we have the local law, okay.
We already did.
Yeah. So we should schedule that for a public hearing, the adoption of the local law. I did-
Okay.
Can I make the motion that we schedule a public hearing?
I'll second
You
it.
gotta make the
Oh,
motion to
yeah,
accept the resolution.
My bad.
Can I get a motion to accept the?
I'll make the
resolution?
motion to
I'll
accept the
second
resolution.
that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now can I get a motion to set up a public hearing
So moved.
for March
20th.
20th
Sorry
at
about
7:05 PM?
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
that's our next meeting. right?
Yes.
What's the date, what's the meeting date again?
March 20th.
320.
Thank you, Warren.
I think so.
Thank you.
They're great, they're great.
Trying to help you out.
Next time that happens, I'm going to take credit for it.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
But yeah, there is a resolution for the pro housing.
Right.
Yeah,
I did that too, okay.
yeah.
That's funny.
So anything else about the AD?
No.
Pro housing. Oh,
Pro
so the
housing.
pro housing certification, we do have a resolution to vote on that too. That's something that, we've been ready to launch for quite some time. Amanda has a portal that information needs to be dumped into by, our planning board and our building inspector. We have the resolution, but there is a real push to get that done, and, I'm willing to contact those guys and see what we need to do. At the conference, this was kind of like, if you become a pro-housing, community certified community, then you will have a better shot at getting grants. The conference that we went to in New York City, the keynote speaker was the governor, and I was told at several grant workshops that now it's going to be a requirement. It's not going to give you a leg up on grants. It's going to be required. So we got to land on it. So anyway, that's that. We have to do the pro housing thing, and you have a resolution.
Yes, you have it. I gave it to you.
We do.
So just,
So I'd like to make a motion that we pass that
Can I
resolution.
get a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye. that I remember doing.
Anybody else have any?
I do. Janine and I just came back from the annual Association of Towns Training and Business Meeting, where I learned that there are a lot of funds out there available for municipalities. The process of acquiring them is quite complicated. We can use these funds for projects like the new town hall or wastewater, and perhaps sidewalks, crosswalks. There are lots of possibilities. The best way to do this, of course, is to hire a grant writer who can find the funds for the projects that we have in mind and then apply for them. The process of using grant money for a given project is first to develop a plan for that project and then seek the grant money. In fact, you pretty much won't get a grant if you don't have a plan. The town should seek funding before using a bond, because there is so much money out there in the way of financial support from the state and federal grants. If done correctly, the majority of the project's expenses can be covered by grants, with the remains of the cost covered by the town. So it's just more emphasis on working on grant writer and seeking that grant money. Because, with the town hall, that's going to be a huge expense, and, I'd rather get the money that's available that we don't have to pay for to cover as much of it as we can. So we're definitely leaning heavily towards grant writer.
Well, we have a workshop meeting scheduled.
we're
supposed to meet on it.
Yes,
17.
Wednesday,
Yeah.
No,
Monday,
Monday.
St. Patrick's Day.
Monday the 17th.
Monday the 17th.
It's a
7
workshop
p.m.
and
Right, what do they do to me?
the grant writers will show up and give us an idea of what they're about and how it works and how successful they are.
They're gonna show us all the green
Yeah,
on St. Patrick's Day.
there you go.
I mentioned this last time, but the library will be attending that workshop as well.
Yes.
We're interested in partnering with the town on a potential grant writer.
Awesome. It's great. The more the merrier.
Sounds great.
Okay, new business?
So as Kevin mentioned, he and I did attend a workshop in New York City, Sunday through Wednesday, and it was really very, very beneficial. There were so many important workshops, sometimes overwhelming. But some of the important highlights were not only several presentations about grants, but there was a proposed legislative program where the New York State Association of Towns prepared 17 resolutions to put before the governor and the legislature. And Kevin was designated as our representative to vote on those. And at the meeting where Kathy Hochul was actually the guest speaker, the resolutions were voted on in favor of unanimously. So I'll just read some of them. I'm not gonna read the whole resolution, don't worry. I'll just tell you the topics, but some of them are really, I think, very important to us. One was to preserve and support home rule. That means we can make those laws in Pine Plains that work for our community. And Kathy Hochul, when she spoke, she sounded like she was completely confident that towns should be given the opportunity to make those kinds of decisions for themselves, that it shouldn't be, one fits all for the state. And she comes from, I didn't know this, but she comes from town
Town board.
service. She
Yeah.
was on town boards and she attended all of these kinds of workshops when she was doing that. So she has a real appreciation for town, what we're doing, what the town boards are doing. So anyway, another one is to maintain and increase aid and incentives to municipalities funding. 3 was to declare general ambulance service an essential service and provide service funding. So that's huge. I think you've all heard about it in our county. To get more money into that, to funnel more money into that, to have insurance pay for it and all that kind of stuff. So that's a big one. Another is to increase the salary cap for retired political officials returning to public service. Another one that young New York State employees might be very excited about is to reform Tier 6. That's the latest, I think it's the latest group of people that were hired in New York State. And to reform that and the local retirement system. Number 6 is to create a dedicated funding source for commercial driver's license, CDL training, because we know it's very expensive and and so to create a funding source for that. Number 7 is to amend civil service rules to create a more efficient hiring process for public employers. Civil service has been around for about 100 years and it hasn't gone through reform, so it needs to. Provide towns with negotiation authority and pilot agreements, and we experienced that firsthand in our town, didn't we? Reform inequities in real property tax cap formula, support highway, bridge, and transportation funding. Increase or repeal the tax levy limits for highway equipment purchases. Provide all towns with the option to set speed limits on local roads. Love that. Create a dedicated funding program for municipal water and sewer infrastructure so that we don't have to, constantly looking for grants. It's something that, what we also learned at this conference is that, every town is facing this that doesn't have municipal services. So this is a really big push in New York State, probably in other states too. Support dedicated funding for PFAS testing, remediation, and prevention, right? Foster opportunities for smaller scale renewable energy development and provide guidance and resources for battery energy storage systems. So lots of good things that the Association of Towns is lobbying for. So let's hope that the legislature and the governor sign off.
I actually saw one guy vote no against one of those.
Oh, you did? I did.
Yeah, he's
I was
up
watching.
front, and I'm surprised because and it was a large group of people voting, and it was pretty much unanimous, except for that one guy.
So once I weed through the whole big bag of things that I collected from this, I'll be handing them out to different people that can benefit from some of that information. That's it.
All right. We need to approve Carl and myself set in on interviews for the groundskeeper position that's going to be labeled as a highway laborer. So I need a motion to approve Rich Johnson Jr. to the title of laborer to the highway garage. This position is replacing the buildings and grounds. Starting date will be March 24th at a salary of 47,000. Rich brings 29 years of experience to this position. We had 3 applicants, 2 were interviewed, and the third never returned 3 messages left for them.
What is his name again?
It's
Rich
Rich
Johnson.
Johnson Jr.
Make a motion.
Before you do that, I mean, I have a little difficulty with this because, you know, you do the interviews and then we're just presented with a result that we either choose to accept or not accept. And, you know, we don't have a chance to review any of the information. And my understanding is that the town board as a whole is the HR department for a town.
We did it with Carl. And it's gonna be the part-time highway. We got it. So it wasn't just him.
Right, but I mean, back to my point that we're just given a name and vote on, and we really need more than that. We are the HR department for the town. We as a whole select anybody. There's nobody here appointed, you know, in the town at the pleasure of anyone. It's definitely selected by the town board, so we really need more information. We need more of a review process, I think.
I feel we got 0 applicants the last time it went out, and I feel that we got somebody who came in and went to the interview and wants the job, so.
So tell us a little bit about him. Tell us.
More than happy. 29 years of experience with maintenance, working at a resort and conference center. He's had years of experience in general maintenance, operating 0-turn mowers, lawn equipment, etc., and communicating with outside vendors. He's had this job his whole life. That's the only job he's had. He's been a resident of Pine Plains his whole life. So, job experience wise, I can't give you anything else because he's been there his whole life. And the reasoning of moving on, I don't really want
That's fair enough.
to.
Fair enough.
It was nothing bad.
Yeah,
Nothing bad. It's just
time to move on.
he likes the idea of being closer to home
Okay,
because he has to travel a good 40 minutes.
all right. I'll second that motion, man.
Carl wants to say something.
Carl, go ahead, bud.
As far as interviews, it was a slam dunk. You'd be silly not to accept them.
Okay.
Sounds good.
$47,000.
Part-time highway, but he's doing
Yes.
like, he's doing the grounds, right, and helping out with the
It
highway.
was a full-time employee, had no
Yeah.
problem whatsoever.
The food time, yeah,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
I said part-time.
Nope, 40 hours a week,
No.
full-time position. He'll be shifting when there's not grass to mow or anything, and be shifting over to the highway to clean sidewalks, clean buildings, town-owned buildings and stuff like that.
And he's
great.
gonna water the plant barrels. Right?
I was just wondering, I don't know if I can ask it, but does he have a job description that was presented to him? Is there-
It falls under civil service law, under the labor for the highway department.
But we did
But
meet
we-
and come up with
Yes.
what his role
Yeah.
would
We
be
did have an agreement.
with specific, things.
The only thing that I am concerned with and would like to hear some review on is how that transition works, if it actually functions, if there's any difficulty with it, you know, I mean, it is a unique way to slide from job to job, so.
I mean, the mowing season, like when he's
Yeah.
done with that prep, like that's pretty cut and dry when you're, done with it for the cleanups and stuff like that, and Carl and I both are in the same business, so we know when we're done with that season, and it's not gonna be that hard to transition over, I don't think.
All right, I have Zick and Walsh.
Yes.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Uh,
May I ask a question about, in the past, the person has, dealt with the cemetery mowing.
That's the same,
Same person?
same thing.
Okay, same thing.
Same thing.
And will that person, the new guy?
Yep.
Will he be able to mow outside the cemetery walls? Rather than just inside?
Was it done in the past?
No, no.
Is it our
Yeah,
Line.
it's between the wall and the
I'm not
road,
familiar.
it's ours.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yes.
It's ours, yes.
What about,
Yeah.
what about,
We got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you on that. Yeah.
So,
It'll be complete.
Yeah, he should have done that before. I got you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
On that note, under new business, I heard from someone that there are some branch danglers of good size on the graveyard on 199. Would he also take a look at
that's,
those?
that's
And
part of that,
That's
that's
that
part of the
whole thing?
whole, that's part of the
Excellent.
whole thing.
Excellent, okay,
We haven't had anybody in that position for a couple months, so.
okay.
Carl, can you just take a peek at that one tomorrow?
Yeah.
Perfect, thanks.
Thanks.
So, graveyard?
199,
Down there by
Where?
Rich Brenner in that area.
yeah,
That one.
Oh.
right before Chase, the one
Oh.
before Chase, yeah.
I guess it's been there a year or two or something.
Yep.
There's two.
Okay.
Client meeting.
Attorney client,
Yes, we would adjourn the meeting.
Yep.
And then go.
can I get,
If we have to come out and make a decision, we'll just resume the meeting.
Yep. can I make a motion to go and do attorney client?
Make that motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
we'll see a little bit now.
So we may come out, you're saying?
We might have to make a decision.
Okay.
Is what it's saying.
Okay,
I hear a motion to come out of the attorney-client privilege.
I make
I
the
make the
motion.
motion, I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I make
I
the motion.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.